Everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And in this video we are going to go through the FreeCodeCamp curriculum, specifically learn CSS colors part. So in previous videos I have two playlists on the channel where I have done a walkthrough of this one, learn HTML by building a cat photo wrap. So I did a walkthrough of all 69 steps, and I also have a playlist on the channel where I did a walkthrough of learn basic CSS by building a cafe menu, and I also did a walkthrough of all 99 steps. So if you haven't seen that one, I encourage you to have a look. I will post a link to that in the description below, and after you've done that, then you can come back to this video. But if you've already seen that, then let's get started. All right, so in this one we have about 94 steps that we are going to be going through, and at the end of these 94 steps, this is what we are going to build. So by building this, we are going to be learning more about CSS. We are going to get in depth, and basically we'll be learning also more about using colors in CSS as well. All right, so enough talking, let's get started straight away with step one. So start coding. All right, so as you've seen in previous project, like I said, web pages should start with doctype HTML declaration followed by an HTML element. Okay, so what the doctype does is that it tells the browser what kind of document or file this is, and in our case we are creating an HTML document. Okay, so the way we do the doctype declaration is to use angle brackets like so, and then we add our exclamation mark, then we type out doctype like so, then we add an HTML attribute like so. Okay, so next up we want to also give it an HTML element. Okay, so we write HTML, we have our opening HTML tag, our closing HTML tag, and then for the opening HTML tag we want to have an attribute called lang, and we set it to en. So this is just going to set the language of our web page to English. That's going to be the default language. Okay, so on to the next one. All right, so for step 2 we want to nest the head element within the HTML, and after the head element we want to add a body element as well. So we are adding two elements. First is the head, and then after the head we also want to add a body element. So we write our opening body tag like so, and then the closing body tag like that. Okay, so next up, remember that the title element gives search engines extra information about the page. It also displays the contents of the title in two more ways. In the title bar when the page is open. So for example, this current page that we've opened, this is the title bar, as you can see, right? Learn CSS colors by building a set of colored markers. Okay, so there's the title bar. So it displays it in the title bar when the page is open, and also in the browser tab when you hover over it. Okay, so when I hover over it, you see this sort of a pop-up opens with the entire title. Okay, all right, so within the head element we want to nest a title element with a text colored markers. All right, so we have our opening title tag, and then our closing title tag, and then the text we want to give it is colored markers like so. Okay, all right, so once again, like I always say, FreeCodeCamp is free, completely free, but then the reason why it's free is because people donate and support the work of FreeCodeCamp. So if you want to donate to support the work of FreeCodeCamp, you should do so. But if you want to also donate at a later time, like I will choose, just ask me later, okay? So that we continue with our tutorials. All right. Okay, so step 4. To tell browsers how to encode characters on your page, set the char set to UTF-8. And UTF-8 is a universal character set that includes almost every character from all human languages. Okay, so what we're going to do is inside the head element, we will do meta, which is a self-closing tag. And then we add an attribute called charset, and then the value of charset is going to be UTF-8. Okay, all right. Okay, so step 5. You can have multiple self-closing meta elements on a web page. Each meta element adds additional information about the page that cannot be expressed by other HTML elements. So what we want to do is we want to add another self-closing meta element within the head. So we are adding another self-closing meta element like so. And then we want to give it an attribute of viewport. Okay. We want to give it an attribute of name. The value of name is going to be viewport. Okay, and I also want to give it another attribute called content, and the value of content is going to be this right here. So let me just copy it and then paste it. Okay, so what this here will do is that it will let our page that we are going to build look and feel similar on various screen sizes. Okay, yeah, so your page looks the same on all devices. Okay. All right, now for step 6, we want to start adding content to the body. Okay, so now when we add content to the body, we'll begin to see the content appear here on the preview tab, on the preview panel, sorry. All right, so the first element we want to add is an h1 element. So we write our opening h1 element and our closing h1 tag like so, and want to give it a text CSS color markers. Okay, so that's what we have here, CSS color markers. Mind you, this is what we are building. Okay, so this is the h1 that we've added, and we're going to work on this in the subsequent lessons. All right, let's continue. So in this project, you work with an external CSS file to style the page. We've already created a CSS style, a styles.csx, so this one here. So this, currently the file is empty. Okay, so we have our separate HTML file here. We also have our CSS file here. Okay, but before you can use it, you need to link it to the page. Okay, so first we want to link this CSS file here to this HTML file that we have here, so that whatever style that we write here will affect the element here. If we don't link it, then for example, I can write body, okay, and do background color and say green, but nothing happens because we haven't linked it. Now let's see what happens when I link it. So to link it, we use the link element, which is a self-closing element. So we write link element like so, and then we give it a real attribute. The value of row is going to be stylesheet. Okay, and the value of the href is going to be a link to this file. So in this case, we just write the name of the file, styles.css. Okay, now once I do that, you see the background color changes to green, which means that our styles are working. Okay, so let me just take this off for now. All right, so let's move on to the next step. All right, so as a reminder, here's how to target a paragraph element and align it. Okay, so as a reminder, if you want to add styles, you write the name of the element, okay, and then you bring your curly braces like so, and then inside the curly braces you write the name of the property, okay, so the property that you want to use, and then you write the value of the property that you want to use. Okay, that's how you, this is the syntax for CSS. Okay, so we want to create a new CSS that targets the H1 element, okay, and set a text align property to center. So currently our H1 element is shifted to the left, but in the final page we want to center it like so. Okay, so the way we do that is to like I said, write the name of the element. So in this case, the name of the element we want to target or want to style is H1, and the property we want to use is text align property, and the value is going to be center. Okay, now as you can see, our H1 is centered nicely on our page. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, now in step 9, you add some elements that you will eventually style into color markers. First, within the body element, add a div element and set its class attribute to container. Make sure the div element is below the H1. Okay, so this is our H1. Okay, so we come here and we hit enter. Now we add a new div element. So we have our opening div tag and our closing div tag, and we also want to give it a class with a value container. Okay, all right, now within the div element, add another div element and give it a class of marker. Okay, so this is the div element, and within the div element we want to nest another div element. So we have an opening div tag like so and a closing div tag. Okay, so this div, the nested div, is going to have a class attribute of marker. Okay, all right, so yeah, so that will be it for this video. We've looked at step 1 all the way to step 10, and we are going to continue with step 11 all the way to step 20 in the next video. Thanks for watching this one. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.